Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Olish-Forrester, and in a few short weeks, I will be starting the program for the PhD in psychology with a specialization of gender and sexual fluidity. I'm a 50-year-old bisexual polyamorous working mother of 3 transgendered children. And even though those of us in the LGBTQ community have been fighting for our rights for a long time, we are still silenced. We are still unsafe. We are still harassed, bullied, and victimized. Recently, my 11-year-old child started therapy to address the anxiety they experience because of their gender. While the therapist is wonderful with them, I have needed to educate that therapist about transgender issues, as well as provide resources for her other transgendered children that she's seeing. Those of us in the polyamorous and LGBT community are afraid to seek therapy because therapists do not have the education and resources to speak on our issues, and sometimes we are shamed and misunderstood. I have found myself searching for therapists that are poly and LGBT friendly, but the list is short and it's hard to find them in my area. They need education. The NCU program will help me to provide this much needed education to the therapists in my area and hopefully in other areas. My older children, who are now 22 and 24, have been refused medical care and hormone replacement therapy because they are transgender. We currently have to drive an hour from our home to receive medical care because the doctors in our area will not treat them. I do not live in a rural area. I live in a city that has just about 200,000 residents. Some of the medical professionals would like to help, but lack the education and knowledge needed to provide HRT. The NCU program can help me reach out to the doctors in my community and give them the resources and education they need to work with transgender youth and adults. My children are afraid to go out alone in public, and I am afraid to hold hands with my girlfriend. We constantly worry if others will accept us, and one of my children has even been refused a job because she is transgender. I am afraid to talk about myself and my family in the bio that I post for my students where I teach college. I'm afraid I might lose my job or that my students won't listen to what I have to say. So instead, I use vague language in my bio, and I often don't acknowledge my other life partners, which is not really fair to them because they are a huge part of my life. I am not fully heard. I can't be fully me. The NCU program can help me advocate for change so that we can be heard, so that we can live our dreams and thrive instead of just survive. Over the years, we have all lost friends. Parents are afraid to allow their children to be with mine. Just 2 days ago, my 11-year-old was the victim of slurs like tranny and retard on one of the social networks that they belong to. We deserve to have a safe space that is ours, a place to share our stories and hear other people's truths. The NCU program can help me build a community center that provides education, outreach, support groups, and social activities to those people in my community that certainly need this help. Transgender people and others that identify within the LGBT community are at a much higher risk of suicide because they experience constant bullying, family rejection, harassment for who they are. I see this every day, not only in my own family, but at the Trevor Project where I volunteer. I work on a crisis hotline for LGBT youth, and the stories that they share about their families rejecting them and the harassment they receive are hurtful and sadden me tremendously. A degree at NCU will help me be a better advocate for the Trevor Project and help me save more lives. I also mentioned that I'm a teacher, and I've been teaching philosophy and English classes since 1996 when I graduated with a master's in philosophy. Many college courses need to be redesigned to include LGBTQ persons. The course design discussions, essay prompts, the quizzes are all heteronormative and assume that the person that's doing the work in my classes is heterosexual. For example, one such discussion question in a course that I did not design asks students if their opinions of the LGBT community have changed since covering Module 6 in the class. This assumes that none of the students in my class fall within that community. I want to be a part of creating a future where all voices are heard, where no one is silenced and everyone is safe. And my degree at NCU can help me get there. I choose to go the distance to live my dreams, to walk my own path, to work for what I want, and to share my story, no matter how uncomfortable it might be for others. Everyone deserves these opportunities. Education and outreach are two of the best ways to stop hate, address these problems, and to create a better and safer future for our children and the adults in the polyamorous and LGBT communities. NCU will provide me with the education that I need to better support and educate others on the problems that we face. Thank you for listening.